Everyone, please be seated. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask the people in the back of the room if they can hear me, because I'm talking at Mike's volume. Okay. That's what Randa calls it when she's watching, or when Mike's watching the TV. It's Mike's volume. He likes to hear it really loud. Mike asked me to make this really quick today because he's got a tea time coming up. Now to get started, I would like to thank the parents of Mike and Randa for creating and nurturing such wonderful adults. Thanks Jim and Leanne for Randa, and thanks Manuel and Bertha for Mike. I've asked myself, why am I officiating the wedding? I bet it has something to do with the fact that actually Mike, Randa, and I are all brothers. True story. We're brothers. We're all members of the fraternity Delta Sigma Pi, which makes us all brothers. Mike and Randa actually met via Delta Sigma Pi. They were in the same pledge class. And as you would expect, it was not what you expected. Mike thought that he liked Randa, but Randa thought that Mike liked her friend. So they all hung out together, and they were all confused, but finally the right people got together. So that's how they got together. Their second date was much more interesting. Mike took Randa to the Padres game, and after the Padres game, he decided to drop by his uncle's house. Just to drop by for a minute. And instead of dropping by for a minute, they stayed there most of the evening. And Randa met everyone in the family, or most of the people in the family, a lot of the family. And they all really approved of Randa. Or maybe it was because I was Randa's uncle. Or maybe it was Jim was busy because he was walking Randa down the aisle. But whatever the case may be, I'm deeply honored for being chosen to marry you two. Well, let's get started with a few words about the bride and groom. First of all, your friends say a lot about you. Drew, Patrick, Aaron, and Manuel have been obviously his brother and his best friends since elementary school. It's tough to keep friends that long unless you're really special. Randa has her friends here today that have known her, some of them, since birth. In fact, one of them tried to teach her to crawl when they were babies. To no avail, because Randa would only roll to wherever she was going. She's a real trailblazer. They're both extremely thoughtful people. Mike never forgets to text you or call you on your birthday. Randa is so thoughtful and helpful too, and I'll talk more about that later. And again, it says a lot about people to have such long-term terrific friends. It bodes well for them in their lives together. Both Mike and Randa love to travel. When Randa was 18, she was on a cruise with her friend Elise, and one of the places they stopped was Puerto Vallarta. And Randa told Elise that she was going to get married there someday. Okay. Virtually at the same time in a different universe, Mike was traveling with Patrick to Europe. And as he was getting ready to travel, he got to the airport, got right up to the ticket counter, and did not have his passport. So his coach had to run all the way back to Mount Helix and pick up the passport. But that tells you a little bit about their love for travel, and the exotic place they brought us is just fantastic, and we all appreciate that. And Randa being in the hospitality business, it's perfect for her and them to be able to travel the world and get great discounts on travel. So that makes a smart decision. Mike being in the steel business, should create a strong foundation for this marriage to round. With that extensive knowledge of building things and taking care of things, Mike should know who to call when something goes wrong with the plumbing, or who to call when something goes wrong with the electricity in their house. Randa, being in the hospitality business, should create a strong base for their marriage also. So when it's time when they're hungry, she'll be the first one to order Uber. So Jim and I taught our girls the most important thing to do when they were younger, and that's how to change their oil. We didn't want them to be not able to take care of the important things in life. So when it was time, Jim and I drove each one of our daughters to Jiffy Lube and asked them for an oil change. So they learned how to change their oil. They are millennials, you know. But those are serious professions that will help them greatly in their marriage. Mike is full of surprises, and they both do special things for each other. Mike recently surprised Randa with a meet and greet with Stassi. I've been told that's a really big deal. Okay. Randa organizes all the trips for the couple. Randa has even changed for Mike. Now, Randa loves wine, and she loves going to wineries. Mike loves craft beer, and he loves going to breweries. So now Randa likes craft beer, and she goes to breweries. Mike loves to golf, so Randa's learning to golf. No. Instead, she makes sure that every golf trip that she sets up has a fancy spa nearby. So while Mike's at the golf course, she can be at the spa. What a couple. So far, this gives you background on this marriage and plenty of evidence that this marriage will be long-lasting. Now let's talk a little bit about the vows before we actually do them, for better or for worse. Let's hope there's only great days and they can have great lives together at all times. Every day is going to be a better day. I don't see it ever having bad days with Randa and Mike. For richer or poor, why be poor when you can choose to be rich? I don't understand that one at all. I am sure with the career that these two have, they will be on the richer side of the equation, in sickness and in health. Well, I have a lot of experience with Randa on that issue. I've spent many a nights in the Allens homes for the last 26 years, and whenever I have a health issue, it's always at the Allens house. I've even been taken by my own ambulance from the house in the middle of the night. But Randa was always there getting the medicine that I need or helping me get by. I would always wake up Randa first, and she never ever complained. So Mike, you're very lucky. The health part is very easy. To love and to cherish. I don't see any issue with this. As we can all see, they love each other very much. Now for the vows. Rings. Mike, repeat after me. I, Mike, take you, Randa,
I, Mike, take you, Randa,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or poor,
for richer or poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
until death do us part.
until death do us part.
And to you, Randa.
Yes.
I, Randa,
I, Randa,
take you, Mike,
take you, Mike,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or poorer,
for richer or poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
until death do us part.
until death do us part.
Please stand. Please stand. With the powers vested in me by Mike and Randa, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Gamboa.
Soul in my feet, I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it.
Please join us downstairs for cocktails. So everybody downstairs. Thank you.